January 26, 1959, Sverdlovsk. A brutal winter expedition was about to begin. 9 experienced hikers prepared for a journey. They headed into the remote Ural Mountains. Beyond civilization, endless wilderness stretched beneath frozen skies. The hikers advanced through deep snow toward the northern wilderness. Leading them was Igor Dyatlov, an experienced and respected expedition leader. Every member possessed valuable outdoor and survival experience. Photographs captured smiles, adventure, and confidence during the journey. Those photographs would become their final known images alive. One member turned back because of health concerns.
That decision would ultimately save his life.
The expedition pushed deeper into increasingly hostile mountain terrain. Temperatures continued falling as daylight slowly disappeared. Ahead stood Kholat Syakhl, a mountain surrounded by silence. The mountain's name is often translated as Dead Mountain. No evidence suggests the hikers feared the location. As evening arrived, the group selected a campsite. The tent was erected on an exposed mountain slope. Snow drifted across the campsite as darkness approached. The wilderness grew silent beneath a frozen night sky. Then, sometime during the night, something happened. The hikers never arrived at their planned destination.
Days passed, and concern began spreading among relatives and officials.
Search teams were organized and sent into the frozen wilderness.
Volunteers and rescuers searched valleys, forests, and mountain slopes. Each passing day reduced hopes of finding the hikers alive. Then, on February 26th, investigators discovered the campsite. The scene immediately raised troubling questions. Inside remained boots, clothing, food, and personal belongings. Many essential items appeared untouched, despite the freezing conditions. Then investigators noticed something even more disturbing.
The tent appeared to have been cut open from the inside. The discovery transformed concern into a genuine mystery.
Nearby, searchers discovered tracks leading away from the campsite. The tracks suggested an orderly departure rather than panic. The trail descended toward a dark forest below the slope. Investigators eventually reached a large cedar tree near the forest. There, the search took a tragic turn. The first bodies were discovered near the cedar tree. Evidence suggested the hikers had attempted to build a fire. A troubling question immediately emerged. Why didn't they return? Additional bodies were discovered between the cedar tree and the tent. Their locations suggested attempts to return toward the campsite. Researchers later interpreted this as a possible survival effort.
Small details began revealing how the group struggled to survive.
Evidence suggested some hikers shared clothing after leaving the tent. The findings suggested organization rather than immediate chaos. Recovered journals provided insight into the expedition's final days. Photographs showed confidence, routine, and no obvious signs of danger. Nothing in the records clearly explained the emergency that followed.
Then the investigation took an even more dramatic turn.
Months later, additional bodies were discovered beneath deep snow. The new findings made the mystery even more complicated. Medical examinations documented severe traumatic injuries among some hikers. Researchers continue debating exactly how those injuries occurred. The original investigation cited an unspecified, overwhelming force. Decades later, researchers revisited the evidence with modern methods. One leading theory suggests a snow slab or avalanche-related event. Yet important details remain open to interpretation. At the center of the story were 9 young explorers. More than 60 years later, the mountain still keeps some secrets. Some mysteries never fully disappear. Subscribe for more true documentary stories.